Kagoma City. Good evening and good evening and welcome to Icu TV News. To begin with, let's take a look at stories that are making headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema Lauds strengthened Zambia-USA relations. LCC demolishes over 100 illegal structures along Ring Road. Zambia reaffirms climate resilience commitment at Africa Adaptation Forum. In international news, Sudan faces worst cholera outbreak in years as Darfur death toll rises. And in sports news, Zambia exit CHAN 2024 after 3-1 defeat to Morocco. To present the main news, my name is President Hakainde Hichilema has held the relationship between Zambia and the United States of America as cordial and built on shared democratic values, peace, and mutual respect. These values continue to provide a solid foundation for advancing bilateral ties. During a meeting held in Livingston with a visiting delegation of U.S. congressional members, discussions centered on enhancing cooperation in areas such as trade, investment, governance, and development. Both sides reaffirmed their commitment to deepening collaborations that serve the interests of their citizens. Hichilema underscored the country's foreign policy principles, which focus on peace, security, and stability, aligning closely with those of its American counterpart. He acknowledged the long-standing support Zambia has received from the U.S. and emphasized the importance of continued partnership in driving progress. The American delegation, led by Charles Dent, Executive Director and Vice President of Policy Programs at the Congressional Program, affirmed the United States' dedication to strengthening ties with Zambia and the broader sub-Saharan African region. Their presence in the country was also intended to foster dialogue, mutual learning, and shared perspectives. Both parties expressed optimism about future cooperations and highlighted the significance of sustained engagement for achieving shared goals.
For us, areas of health, agriculture, food security are very important, extremely important, and we definitely want to hear more from you. But issues of energy to us, mining critical minerals, which we host some of them, copper, cobalt, nickel, manganese, lithium group, are very important to anchoring this social side, as it were. So again, we want to hear from the congressional group here, U.S. congressional group, how you see our partnership being carved out of this mutuality, if you like. Make our economies greener, very important. I would then, once the media is gone, we will highlight a few reforms that our government has put in place in order to help deepen our partnership, U.S.-Zambia partnership, especially on the side of investment, trade, and other issues. But we also know that you are putting in changes on your side. 40 minutes into Harare. Yes, you can walk to Zim here, but 40 minutes into the capital city. Roughly, countries around us, 350 million people, you can access them by air 2.5 hours maximum. And so I think this location is special. Maybe a choice of this location was delivered. So we support that. So thank you very much. Really a pleasure that I'm here. I must close by saying, when I was notified of this meeting, I did not hesitate to make a decision that I will come and join you here. Rather than you traveling to Lusaka, I said, let me go and join them in Livingston so we can have this interaction. So thank you very much. Thank you once more.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will now, with your permission, request the press to leave the room so that we proceed to the closed session.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, in collaboration with state police, has demolished more than 100 illegal makeshift structures built under ZESCO high-voltage power lines along Ring Road and surrounding areas. The operation followed multiple warnings from the Council's Department of City Planning, which had urged traders to voluntarily vacate and relocate to designated trading areas. Despite those notices, the illegal structures remained, prompting enforcement action. LCC Public Relations Manager Cholera said the exercise aims to uphold public safety, order, and cleanliness in the city. She warned that the council will not hesitate to act against illegal development that endangers lives or defer city planning regulations. She also urged members of the public to comply with the council guidelines to avoid similar enforcement actions.
The Lusaka City Council, in collaboration with state police, has demolished over 100 illegal makeshift structures of traders operating under the high-voltage ZESCO power lines along Ring Road and nearby roads. This action was taken after the Council's Department of City Planning issued multiple warnings and notices to the structure owners, urging them to remove the structures voluntarily and relocate to designated areas. However, the warnings were ignored, prompting the council to take enforcement action. The demolition serves as a reminder to the public to adhere to council's regulations and cooperate with local authority to maintaining law and order in the city. The council's action demonstrates its dedication to maintaining a safe and orderly city.
Minister of Agriculture Ruben Mtolo has reaffirmed Zambia's commitment to building climate-resilient economies, stating the climate adaptation remains a top national priority. Speaking during the 8th Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program AAP Partnership Forum at Mulungushi International Conference Center, Mr. Mtolo highlighted Zambia's strides to creating a more sustainable and adaptive agricultural sector. Themed Building Resilience Economies through the African Adaptation Acceleration Program, the forum brought together government leaders, development partners, civil society, and private sector to strengthen collaborations on climate resilience. Mr. Mtolo noted that while Africa contributes the least to global emission, it remains one of the most affected regions. In Zambia, agriculture has been hit hard by climate shocks, threatening food security and economic growth. To encounter this, the government has implemented policies such as the National Policy on Climate Change, the Green Economy and Climate Change Act of 2024, and the National Adaptation Plan. These frameworks are guiding Zambia's shift to sustainable development. We go for our first break. Join us on the other side as we continue with local stories. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
Vice President W.K. Lumango has urged COMESA member states to act with unity and urgency in addressing the region's health challenges, stressing the collective action is key to building resilient and secure health systems. Speaking during the official opening of the second COMESA Ministers of Health meeting in Lusaka, Mrs. Nalumango emphasized that health security is directly linked to economic stability. She noted that the recent outbreak like Mpox and climate-related health emergencies have shown the importance of preparedness and regional cooperation. The Vice President pointed to Africa's continued struggle with health burdens such as malaria, which still accounts for over 90% of global cases, and non-communicable diseases, which now contribute to 37% of deaths on the continent. She also raised concerns over the growing mental health crisis, saying depression alone is costing African economies around 4% of GDP in lost productivity. In other news, the Millers Association of Zambia has backed the government's decision to export surplus maize, assuring the move will not compromise national food security or distort the market. Association President Andrew Chintala said the current food balance sheet confirms that the country has enough maize stocks to meet domestic needs while supporting exports. He explained that the decision followed through consultations involved key stakeholders such as the Zambia National Farmers Union, millers, grain traders, and farmers who all verified the availability of surplus grain. Chintala encouraged millers to take advantage of opportunities and participate in the export market, adding that it offers a viable solution to low maize uptake on the local front. The HH Road in Eastern Province, renamed by President Hakainde Hichilema in August last year, is nearing completion, with key milestone already achieved. Main road clearance has reached 100%, while road formation is now at 90%. Surfacing works are scheduled to begin next month, marking the start of final phase of the Chipata-Chadiza road upgrade. President Hakainde Hichilema renamed the road during the Kulamba traditional ceremony of the Chewa-speaking people, positioning the project as a critical drive to development in the region. Once completed, the road is expected to enhance cross-border trade, reduce travel time, and stimulate economic activities for farming communities along the route.
When President Hakainde Hichilema personally named the Chipata-Chadiza upgrade the HH Road, it wasn't just symbolic. It was a signal that this 85-kilometer transformation, 65 kilometers of the main D128 stretch, plus 20 kilometers of township roads in Chipata and Chadiza, is more than a construction project. It's an artery for agriculture, trade, and regional integration.
I have taken, as the servant of the people, the Chadiza-Chipata Road. I have called it the HH Road, and that road will be tarred to the best quality. And since the President's word is instructive, instructions have been issued to the Minister of Infrastructure, who is seated there, that the HH Road, Chadiza-Chipata, is a priority.
With just over 1.3 billion kwacha in investment, the HH Road is being built to bitumen standard, complete with stabilized gravel bases, bridges, drainage, road signs, and landscaping. It's a project fully funded through the National Road Fund Agency and one of the key corridors under government's connect.
You are still watching Icu TV main news. We take our second break and join us on the other side as we bring to you international and sports news. Stay tuned.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
What comes to your mind when you hear of this name? Is it the beautifully architectured infrastructure at our campus? Or is it the amazing students that are always performing well in their fields? My name is Zimba Emmanuel, and I present to you Alumni Chronicles, a program that gets to look at all students that have passed through the corridors of ICU and are making an impact in society today. Join me every week as I sit down with former students and get to listen to them, what they have to say about life after they've been through the university. Remember, it's Icu TV every week. Thank you for staying with us, and now we switch to our international news. At least 40 people have died from cholera in Sudan's Darfur region amid what has become the country's worst outbreak in recent years. The outbreak, which began in August 2023, continues to spread rapidly, with nearly 100,000 suspected cases and over 2,400 deaths recorded nationwide. Darfur, already suffering from ongoing conflicts between the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, has been hit hardest. Medical charity Doctors Without Borders, MSF, reported treating more than 2,300 cholera cases and recorded 40 deaths in the region within just 1 week. The outbreak is being fueled by war, widespread displacement, and heavy rains that have worsened sanitary conditions. Cholera, which spreads through contaminated food and water, can become fatal within hours if left untreated, though basic interventions such as oral rehydration or antibiotics can be life-saving. In response, health authorities have launched a 10-day vaccination campaign in Khartoum in an effort to contain the fast-moving disease. Still in international news, the United States has revoked the visas of several officials from Brazil, Africa, and the Caribbean over what they alleged involvement in Cuba's international medical mission programs, which Washington has labeled as forced labor. Among those named are Brazilian Ministry of Health officials Mozart Júlio Tabasso and Alberto Kleiman, who were involved in a country's Mais Modicos program launched in 2013 to bring Cuban doctors to underserved areas. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, in a statement issued Wednesday, said visa restrictions were imposed on current and former government officials, including some linked to the Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO, for their complicity in what he described as Cuba's coercive labor export schemes. Rubio stated that these actions enrich the corrupt Cuban regime and deprive its own people of essential medical care. He added that similar sanctions had been applied to officials from unnamed African countries and the Caribbean nation of Grenada for their roles in similar arrangements with Cuba. We take a short break. We'll be right back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Did you know that mental health conditions are treatable and recovery is possible? Hi, I'm Ngenia Febamoyo. I'm your host on Let's Talk Mental Health. I invite you all to this show where you freely express yourself, and together we find a solution. For more details, you can contact 0777 93 73 92, and we'll be there to help you find solutions to whatever you're going through.
Welcome back, and now for our concluding story. Zambia has been eliminated from the 2024 African Nations Championship, CHAN, at the group stage for the first time in the country's history. The Chipolopolo's exit followed a third consecutive defeat losing 3-1 to Morocco in their latest match. Zambia will now face Kenya in their final group match on Sunday, a game that will serve as a consolation fixture for the team. This early exit marks a disappointing campaign for Zambia, who have previously shown prominence in the tournament. Under the guidance of coach Avram Grant, the team had hoped to progress further in the competition. However, consecutive losses have dismissed their hopes, leaving them to regroup and release their strategy for further tournaments. Zambia's history in the CHAN has seen them advance from the group stage in all their appearances since 2009. Except for this year's edition, their best finish remains the third-place achievement in the inaugural edition. With their final group match against Kenya approaching, the Chipolopolo will look to end their campaign on a high note. That sports item brings us to the end of today's news, but before we go, let's take a quick recap at stories that made headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema Lauds strengthened Zambia-USA relations. LCC demolishes over 100 illegal structures along Ring Road. Zambia reaffirms climate resilience commitment at Africa Adaptation Forum. In international news, Sudan faces worst cholera outbreak in years as Darfur death toll rises. In sports news, Zambia exit CHAN 2024 after 3-1 defeat to Morocco. We would like to thank you for choosing to watch Icu TV News. Remember, you can find these and many more stories on all our socials. That's Instagram, LinkedIn, and on X. Or you can visit our website. That's www.icutvzm.com. I have been Emmanuel Zimba, and I say stay blessed.